What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. The other night, my wife and I had a completely unplanned, completely impromptu movie night. We watched The Outsiders, we watched a film called Collateral Beauty, and we watched Baby Boom. I had such a great time that I thought I'd get on here and tell you guys about it. Yeah, I'm serious. For those of you familiar with my content, you guys know that this is very different than what I normally do. And then there's other people out there that are just simply saying, hey, that's not horror. And what's your problem? So recently I've been in the mood to watch The Outsiders. I think I must have seen something somewhere. Something has had that movie on my mind for whatever reason. So the other night I put it on. My son didn't want to watch it with me. Janae said she didn't want to watch it with me because that's a boy movie. She's not really interested in watching it. So I put that on. And I'd say halfway through the movie, I'd say less than maybe a quarter of the way through the movie, Janae sat down and started to watch it with me. She finished watching that movie with me. We wound up watching 2 more movies after that. We just had such a great time the other night. So, The Outsiders. That was basically the launching pad for Patrick Swayze and Ralph Macchio and C. Thomas Howell, Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe, Matt Dillon. Just a completely star-studded. Leif Garrett's in that movie. Such a completely... Emilio Estevez is another one. A huge star-studded cast in that movie, but at the time, they weren't star-studded or a cast of anything, barely, because they were absolutely unknown actors. But it's the story of, more or less, it's a coming-of-age story. It's the story of 2 different gangs. All the people that I just named, minus Leif Garrett, were known as the Greasers. Slick back hair, leather jackets, jeans, so forth. And then there was the Socs. The Socs had nice hair and nice cars and nice clothes. So it was basically upper class and lower class, is more or less what this movie was, and the clashing of the 2. Some events take place in this movie. A couple of the characters have to go into hiding. One of them knows where they are. He's trying to take care of them and support them and keep them safe and so forth. Really good movie. Like I said, none of these actors were known at all before. It was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It came out in 1983. I remember when this movie came out. I loved this movie, but it's been a long time since I watched it. The DVD that I picked up recently actually was, I got maybe maybe halfway through this movie, and it really started to click in my mind that there was something different about this movie. And what it was is Coppola went back and re-edited the film, or had the film re-edited, I should say. He added in different music. He took out the score that was in the original film, and he put in the music that he thought that those kids would have enjoyed listening to. He also put in a few of the scenes that were deleted scenes that would have, historically or traditionally been bonus features on this DVD. He added that footage back into the film, and it really did make the film feel like a different film. There were extended scenes in the movie. There were scenes in there that were completely cut out, that were never in the original movie at all. The ending is vastly different. It was just really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It felt weird for me because I was so used to the original cut of this film. But Janae, my wife, she enjoyed it just fine because she never saw the original film. So yeah, that was The Outsiders. And when that movie was over, I said to her, do you want to watch another movie? Because we don't ever sit down and watch movies together. We're both very busy. We have kids. We have jobs. I have a YouTube channel. She has a YouTube channel. But we actually had a moment where we could sit down and spend time together. So she said yes. I came down here and I grabbed another movie. I grabbed 2016's Collateral Beauty. I don't know how many of you have seen that or even heard of that. I don't think that movie was very popular. But I remember seeing the trailer for that movie a couple of years ago, obviously in 2016, and it just looked like it would be very interesting to me, so I bought it when it came out on Blu-ray, and it's been sitting on that shelf over there since I bought it. We never watched it. So what this is I got to grab a list here. It's Will Smith is the main character in this movie. Will Smith, Kate Winslet, Helen Mirren, Naomi Harris, Edward Norton, and Michael Pena are the stars of this movie. Will Smith's character is 25% owner in some big company. I think it's an investment firm. The other people who own the company are Edward Norton, Kate Winslet, and Michael Pena. Their characters, those four characters, own this company. Will Smith heads this thing up. He's the guy with all the energy, and he's the guy up front. He's more or less the face of the company. They show him giving sort of like a rah-rah speech in front of his crew or his group. And the camera pans around his head, and when it comes back around to the front of him, he looks like a completely changed person. He was full of energy and very vibrant and very alive. When it came back around, it scrolled at the bottom 3 years later. His hair had grayed. He looked beaten and tired. He just did not look like the same guy. It was very obvious that something happened to him. So a little time passes and you learn that his daughter died, and that's what happened to him. He's basically going through the motions in his life at this point. He's cut off all communication with the outside world, basically. He's not speaking to anybody. Turned off his phones, turned off his electric. He's not paying his rent in his apartment. He's basically throwing in the towel. There's several scenes in the movie where he's riding a bike in the middle of New York City traffic, riding down the street in the middle of traffic, almost looking like he hopes somebody hits him with a car. It's really heartbreaking to see him going through the movie. And what ultimately happens is the other three characters who own the company with Will hire a couple of people from a Broadway acting group, a very small acting group, to portray. They find out, there's a big part. They find out that Will Smith's character is writing letters and mailing them to time, love, and death. So it's more or less his own therapy in his own mind. He's writing letters to something and not someone. They find this out and they hire these three actors to portray time, love, and death. And they also hire someone to film these people approaching Will Smith's character so that they can have a confrontation. And their intention is to edit those people out so that it looks like Will Smith is going crazy. They're doing this in hopes that they can get him basically removed from the company that the four of them own. Legally, they can prove that he's crazy. And that way, they can obtain the 25% that Will Smith's character owns, and we can get rid of him, and we can save our company, and that's that. The way that the movie plays out is brilliant. It's incredibly well-written movie, and incredibly well-written movie, I should say. All of the actors in it are fantastic. Helen Mirren was awesome in this movie. Will Smith's performance in this movie is mind-blowing. Naomi Harris in the film, she's somebody that I'm sure a lot of you also know. It took me a couple seconds to realize. I knew I recognized her. She's the girl who played Selena in 28 Days Later. And she also played a much older woman in the movie Moonlight a couple of years ago, won the Academy Award for Best Picture. All of the actors in this film were fantastic. I had a great time watching this movie. I knew when I saw this that there was something special about this, and I thought that I would thoroughly enjoy it, and I was right. I thought it was great. So, Collateral Beauty. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's awesome. The last movie we watched is Baby Boom with Diane Keaton. This movie is it's also about someone who is very successful in New York. She's not married, but her boyfriend is Harold Ramis. They both own something, large companies, presidents and heads of this and that. Very wealthy, very successful people, very individual people. It seems like everything is very, regulated and articulated in their lives. They have themselves together. They have a pattern and a schedule. They stick to it and everything works for them. In the middle of the night one night, telephone rings. Diane Keaton's character answers the phone, finds out that she inherited something from somebody overseas, like a long-distant relative. She goes to the airport the next day to pick it up. When she gets there, what she inherited was a baby. The baby comes in. Her and her boyfriend, Harold Ramis, have no room in their lives for this baby. The baby comes in, basically wreaks havoc on everything in their lives, flips their whole world upside down. Ramis' character says, "You know what? I love you, but I can't do this. I'm out." So he hits the bricks, and then the movie takes on kind of a different feeling. she's alone now with this baby, and she has to figure out her way, navigate her way through the career that she has, make very major decisions on what she's going to do. And this movie did not turn out the way that I thought it was going to either, but it was very good. This movie's been around for a while. This was 1987. I can't believe I've never seen this movie. I like Diane Keaton quite a bit. I like those old 80s movies, and it feels like that too. The clothes and the score and, everything about it is very, very 80s. I thoroughly enjoyed it. She was awesome in the movie. Harold Ramis was awesome in the movie. Not a lot of other familiar faces in here. But yeah, the movie's, 33 years old, and I've never seen it. My wife loves that movie, and she actually picked that one. And we watched it, and it was great, and we had a great time watching it together. Had some snacks, had some pizza, curled up on the couch, and had a great night with my wife. So, those are the 3 movies I watched. I know that this is incredibly different than anything I normally talk about on this channel, but it is what it is. I am who I am, and I thought I would share that night with you guys. So, if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, have a kick-ass day, and thank you for watching. Later, folks. Have a great weekend.